Hey everybody, it's Dr. V. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to go ahead and get started on this video, but before I do, I just wanted to point out that, again, that I'm using this Tranquility candle with my readings. It's from a friend of mine's Etsy shop, and it's just amazing. It really creates a beautiful sense of peace, and I've been using them for my readings, using this candle, and I just adore it. The other thing that I wanted to mention is this Sacred Space Smudge Spray. From the same shop. I'll post the link to her Etsy shop. But this is good for people who are sensitive to like incense or smoke or sage and things like that. So it creates the same kind of effect without necessarily all of the other, the smoky feeling, or if you have like sensitivity allergies or whatnot. So, Spirit, please use me as a clear channel for communication. May the messages that come through be in the highest good of all those concerned. I draw a sacred circle around this space, setting my ego to the outside. Call upon my ancestors, guides, higher wisdom, archangels, ascended masters to watch over this space, to guard these messages, protect this energy. May the messages that come through serve to uplift, enlighten, encourage, and transform. And so it is. So I already shuffled and I was actually doing this video and then I had a glitch, so I'm just going to start over. So look at the energies that the mature masculines are bringing in. We've got Demeter, Harvest, and we've got Aries, Battle. So this is about cycles coming to an end. Again, it's about things just transitioning into a different type of energy. The harvest time in many places is in the fall. And so I feel like this is a time where people are really becoming, really harvesting some things. So the Divine Masculines may have been in a period of time where they felt like things were really not moving forward. It was a time that was very barren. It was time that was like, things were at a standstill. Things were not moving forward. Things were just not flowing. And now things are starting to move again. So this is a time of reaping what you've sown. Now, the great thing is that if you've been sowing positive seeds, if you've been putting great things out into the universe, then you're going to bring in great things into your life. If you haven't been, if you've been behaving in not so divine ways, then the mature masculines are going to be reaping some of that as well. Having some of the karma of the situations that they've been putting out coming back into to bite them. So then we have Battle, this card of being in this space of needing to battle something. So there is some kind of energy that they have that's coming up around having to engage in a battle again. They may have been feeling like a period of peace and stillness during this kind of barren time, and now there's battles that are happening again. It's important to understand why, right? If you're dealing with a battle, if you have something like that has to come up, that has to be dealt with, it's important to understand why you're there. Because if you're in the same battle, if you're circling the same mountains all the time, it's like, well, maybe at some point you should ask yourself, like, why you keep having the same situations. The common denominator, and if you have a series of damaged relationships, or people who don't like you, or damaged business relationships, or so on and so forth, at some point you have to stop and say, like, okay, what is it about me that's creating this energy? It's not everybody else. And it feels like that's part of what they're needing to do right now. And then it's also to understand what this battle is. So I feel like there could be an energy of defensiveness because there may be some karma that's coming up. There may be some karmic cycles, things that they've done in the past that they're having to deal with now, and they want to defend themselves. So it's like if you've done shitty things in your life, and you've done shitty things to people, and then that they come back, or that karma comes back and you have to deal with it. Well, why don't defend yourself? Just make amends, do the right thing, right? Apologize, take ownership for what you did so you can move forward in your life. As opposed to just like grabbing your sword and going to battle when it's not even a battle that you should be fighting. The truth of the matter is the best way to get through any kind of of these energies of like karma is to literally be like, yep, that's true. I did that. Maybe I wasn't such a great person. I hurt some people. I did some things that were not cool. And then just freaking move on, make amends and move on. And so it's important for the mature masculines in this situation to not get in that space of fighting just to defend themselves, unless it's like a wrongful situation. It's just being conscious about that. It's also being careful that sometimes people go into defense mode and they'll start swinging their sword everywhere and then end up hurting people that don't deserve to be hurt because they're just careless with what they're doing. So that's sort of the energy that the mature or awakened masculines are dealing with right now. So let's move this aside and look at what the feminines are dealing with. So we've got Persephone and Hercules. So awakening, Persephone is kind of a badass, just a really powerful energy. So it's definitely about the mysteries of life opening up. It's like the feminines are having awakening experiences right now, starting to see things in a different light, starting to see things in a totally new light. It's like, Persephone was the goddess that was the bride of Hades, and so she had to spend half of her year underneath in the underworld and half her year on the top role. So this is, what I get is that there's a lot of feminines that are going into the depths of their experience. So there may be energies of wanting to reconnect with, or even looking at connecting with what one might consider some of the shadow side or the darker side. I don't really buy into that kind of separation type language, because I feel like it creates division, and like everybody has darkness, everybody has light. Not one is not better than the other. It just is, right? It's like the shadow or the shadow material can provoke just as much beautiful change and transformation as the light. So Persephone is a goddess that really embodies that and is able to, move between worlds very easily. So this is also a cycle of life and death, and I don't mean literal life and death. I mean there's always cycles. Things are always changing. Things are always transforming. So the feminines are really starting to have some awakening and really getting some higher wisdom. We also have this card with Hercules, strength. This is a powerful energy that the feminines are rising up into. This is like not needing to depend on anybody else. This is about getting focused, getting disciplined, using wisdom. I was thinking about this earlier this week about how many people, including myself, spend so much time distracted with other things, social media, pointless conversations that just waste time, or how many people allow other circumstances. And again, I'm not saying this is about anybody, because I'm dealing with it too, where it's like not being as focused or as disciplined as we would like. And the feminines, I feel like this week are really going to start getting together, that energy together, where it's like, if you've been feeling like your life has been messy, like maybe your house has been messy, your energy has been erratic, you've been undisciplined, you've been even engaging in like self-destructive behavior, self-sabotage behavior, maybe struggling with some kind of addiction, it's time to get organized and get your life back on track and really exercise this strength. It's saying it's not enough to just go with what you feel. It's time for to really focus your aim on what you want. This is like no more letting your your impulses or your need for immediate gratification to take control of you. It's literally like locking that shit down and taking your power back and focusing on creating the life that you want to create. What is it that you want to manifest in the next, the next few months? Think about it. We've got 2 months left in the year. Basically, we've got November, December, and we're halfway through, or through 2/3 of the way through October. So that leaves 12, what is that? Maybe 10 weeks left in the year. And so in 10 weeks, think about what you could accomplish in your life in 10 weeks if you were focused. If you were to focus, you could be let's say, I always use this because it's tangible and easy to measure. Let's say you're like, well, I want to, transform my physical fitness. And so you take the next 10 weeks. For the next 10 weeks, I'm going to really commit myself and focus to a disciplined energy, exercise work routine, eating really healthy, and really focus on that. In 10 weeks, you could healthfully and easily, with some, minor tweaks, or maybe major tweaks depending on your lifestyle, you could like lose, shed, release 20 pounds by now in the end of the year. For most people, 20 pounds would be a significant change. And so the point is that at this point, Spirit's saying it's time to get focused, time to get disciplined, time to get really clear on what it is that you want to attract and what you want to bring for the rest of this year, and start moving toward that. So I'm going to move this aside, and we're going to look at the first, the connective energy between the two, and then we're going to look at what energy each is bringing. And I'm using the Phantasmagoria deck today. This one has like vampires on it, but it's almost Halloween, and you guys know how I love Halloween, so I may use some of these quote-unquote darker energy cards. So let's see. What's the connective energy? I'm not going to read reversals today. Wheel of Fortune, the Prince of Scepters, and the Daughter of Scepters. Interesting. So Fortune, like I said, Wheel of Fortune, cycle's coming to an end. This is what is happening right now. Things are coming to an end. The Wheel of Fortune has spun. Karmic cycles are ending. It's time for another spin on the wheel. So this is literally about just allowing things to happen the way that they're supposed to happen. We can't, sometimes you land on the, what is that card? What is it, that card? Why am I drawing a blank on it? That game, the one with Pat Sajak, Wheel of Fortune. That game where it's like sometimes you land on the trip to the Caribbean, sometimes you land on bankruptcy. That's just what life is. So right now the Wheel of Fortune is spinning again. Things are going to be coming to an end. Things are going to be transforming. It's just what's going to happen. And we have the Prince of Scepters, which is about willpower. It's being inspired. It's taking swift action. It's really about, it can be like someone who's very charming and romantic. Okay, so this is kind of the connective energy. This may be two people really feeling this kind of connection to each other. The shadow side of this card is that the person can also be unpredictable and fickle, maybe a little bit shallow, maybe a little irresponsible. So it's important to keep that energy in check. We have the Daughter of Scepters, which they're literally right next to each other. So it's interesting that that's happening. But this is a card about willpower, enthusiasm, again, optimistic, and being stimulated, feeling imaginative, excitement. This is like passion, okay? Both of these cards are about raw passion. I feel like, and this could be this Venus retrograde that's happening right now, along with the new moon that's coming soon. This could be, but there's like raw passion that's connecting the two. It's like this deep, super enthusiastic, passionate energy. And so I feel like both people are feeling it again. This could also mean like if you're feeling like negatively triggered by your counterpart for some reason, that is also an indication of passion. There's the saying like it's a thin line between love and hate. And then there's, who was it that said this? It was Leo Buscaglia, I think, in a book called All About Love. I don't know. I read a lot of books about love, in case you can't tell. But the connection, the quote was, the opposite of love is not hate. It's indifference. If you still hate somebody, there's still passion there. There's still that deep emotional connection. So even if the connection between the two people right now is like, oh, I can't stand his face, he makes me, or her face or whatever, that's cool. It means that you're still emotionally tied to him. It's when you get to the point that you don't give a crap anymore about what they're doing or not doing, and you're indifferent, like you just are like, okay, whatever. That's when you know that you're emotionally detached. So what is the mature masculine bringing to the situation? The Three of Scepters. There's a lot of scepters here, man, a lot of passion. The Moon. And the World, another card about cycles. Goodness gracious. The Three of Scepters is a card about things going, it's like putting your ships out. What is that? Why am I having such a hard time with like analogies today? It's about putting your desires out, putting yourself out there, making steps, putting your dreams out. It's about new beginnings, moving toward a new horizon. This is about expansion and exploration. This is about maybe putting your dreams out and testing the waters. So this is a card about getting vision and having a new beginning. This is about, you know, having intense energies moving forward. This is, again, another card of passion. So I feel like this energy is literally like this person is, the masculine is about really kind of coming into wanting to create a new project that they may be excited about. They may be feeling excited about this connection. They may be feeling some pull toward this connection again and wanting to take steps toward it. So we have the Moon here. The Moon is about it's mystery. It's about things that are hidden. Things are not as clear by the moonlight as they are by the sun, by the light of day. And so the Moon is about mysteriousness. It's about having some things that are maybe a little bit unclear. It could be also about illusions, fantasies, dreams. This could be suggesting that they might be having dreams that are coming to them that are kind of shaking them up or giving them some different perspectives. In this particular deck, this card also suggests that there could be some addictions that are being dealt with. This could be some energy around like seduction. So there's that as well. So what I'm really getting is that there's just this space that they're really wanting to explore more of the mysteries of life, wanting to engage with things in a different way, wanting to see things in a new light, wanting to explore the unknown, okay? It's like the fantasy, the mystery. Life is too predictable right now, perhaps. And so we have the World. This is about coming into harmony, wholeness. They want things like completion to something. They want something to be to end. This is the end of the hero's journey. This is what's happening right now. So there is some, you know, wanting to find peace, wanting to have some unity. This is really wanting to, I feel like there's this desire to tap in and start living their full mission and purpose in a different way than they have before. They want to have the sense that the world is at their feet, and not in an ego way, but just in a way that they feel confident and powerful and like they're doing what they're meant to be doing. So what is the feminine bringing? We have the Five of Scepters. That's a pretty cool card. The Ten of Skulls. And the Fool. Oh my gosh, look at that, you guys. End of a cycle here. This is the last card in the Major Arcana and the first card. We're talking about the completion of cycles. I'm telling you right now that cycles are ending. This is amazing. The Five of Scepters, another Wands card. This is another passion card. So this is about this energy of, it can be really exercising your will, overcoming challenges, exercising strength, that card that came up earlier, the Hercules. This is the feminines are bringing their strength. They're like, you know what? I'm determined. I've got ambition. I've got self-determination. I have what it takes. And this is kind of sparking that internal revolution, this love revolution that I've been, you know, talking about for so long. This is about getting into a space of really personal evolution, personal shifting and changing. This is a very beautiful card. It feels like the feminines are like digging in their stiletto and being like, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not living life less than to my best of my abilities. Like, I'm gonna clean my house, get my schedule back on track, and whatever it is, and I'm gonna go forward in my life with passion, with purpose, because they want this Ten of Skulls energy. This is what would be the Ten of Pentacles in the traditional tarot, which is about the happy home, the happy life, the abundance. This could be some feminines that are saying like, you know what, I'm going to move toward a different type of connection. Like I'm opening myself up to receive a soulmate. I'm opening myself up to receive love from other sources. I no longer need to feel like it has to come from my divine counterpart. I'm willing to open up to other other opportunities, because what I want is this happiness. I want this abundance. I want to feel content. I want to have my dreams come to pass truly in this life. Okay, this is like, I want to have this joy, this love, this stability, creativity, comfort. I want to be in a relationship that feels beneficial, that feels exciting, that feels mutually creative. And so the feminines could be really moving in that direction and saying like, you know what, I've been sitting here in this space of waiting for this to come around, and now I'm going to take my power back. I'm going to get determined, get organized, and commit to something because I want this, and I'm going to move toward this with or without you. You know, it's funny that I just said that because that song came on the other day when I was driving, With or Without You by, who was that, U2? And it really struck me, and it's been sitting in my head for all weekend, and so now I know why. It's like the feminines are saying, look, I'm moving toward this with or without you, okay? Because I'm ready for this new beginning. So it's like, come on, if you want to catch up, you know, if you want to be with me, if you want to move forward and do this with me, great. Mature masculines, I'd love to have you on board, but what I'm not going to do is run in place anymore. So what's likely ahead for this connection? Oh my gosh, the Four of Scepters, the Seven of Scepters. Literally, I think there's like every scepter has been pulled in this reading. And it's all these wands. This, the Four of Scepters, that's a twin flame confirmation card. It's also a card of union. Now, what I'm getting from this, and it's very clear from Spirit, is that there are some that will come into union with their counterparts. There have been some that have. I know of a handful of twin flame connections that have reconnected with their counterpart in recent times. And so if you ever get to that space where you're doubtful and you're like, I don't know if this is ever going to happen, just, you know, have some faith, because it is. There are people that are reuniting and that are coming back into connection. So there is that. There's also this energy that is about union with, there could be a possible union with other people. Union doesn't necessarily have to mean that you are physically with your counterpart. You can be in union spiritually and not be in union physically, but there is some unions and there's some passion that's going to be happening. The Seven of Scepters is another card of, you guessed it, passion. So spirituality, passion, it's like vibrant energy. So the Seven is about really taking risks. This can also be a card about being defensive, so be careful about that. Mature feminines, this is about, you know, just being careful, hold your ground, okay? This is definitely about holding your ground. Try not to be defensive, but hold your ground. Stand for what it is that you want, that you deserve. Resist anything that's less than divine for you. You want something that's divine. You want something that is going to reflect your divinity. So it's definitely about take a stand for what it is that you want and dig in. Don't give up. Because things are about, again, we have another ending of cycles. Things are about to transform. This connection is going to transform. One way or another, something's going to happen that's going to bring transformation. It's going to be really, really amazing to see what happens. So I'm going to move this aside. If my voice sounds like it's changed just because I stood up, I have too much energy moving through me right now, so I'm doing this reading standing up. So we're going to pull two cards from the Halloween Oracle by Stacey DeMarco on what is currently blocking the situation. Blocks. Skeleton. Strength, and the Skull of Flowers. Beautiful. So the blocks are that people haven't been tapping into their strengths. Okay, so just like the feminines just got like two messages about getting strong, that's what's happening. This has been a block, is that the feminine, primarily feminines I'm getting, but there are masculines too. But there is definitely people who haven't been exercising their strength. They haven't been willing to, you know, as this, what is that song by Eminem? He's like, exercise his demons. Those MFers are doing jumping jacks now. This is people who haven't been willing to face their any limiting beliefs, any limitations, and now that's been a block. So now people are going to have to rise up into their strength to be able to move things. Now, this is also about creating through the ashes. This is a block. It's people can't see through the ashes. People can't see that after, you know, how can you have such a beautiful connection and then it not work out or not be together and then still be able to move forward and have a great life? Well, that's a limiting belief that people need to move through, and recognize that you can still create the life that you want, even if it's not currently with your counterpart. And so once people can really see that, it's going to really help them to move forward. So what is the advice? The Silence of the Lambs card. And forgiveness. Oh, you guys. Advice is to let this death come. Let this cycle end. Let things transition that need to transition. There is no new life without death. And we just have to be able to go with that. We just have to surrender. And I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. It's like, who wants to be in that space, right? Who wants to let things go? Who wants to let things die? But that's part of the journey. I reference this book a lot. It's The Women Who Run with the Wolves by Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes. If you've never read it, I highly recommend it. But she talks in that book quite extensively about the life-death life cycle. Rebirth, dying, rebirth, dying. This is important. We need to allow this to happen. Spirit's saying, if you can just let this happen, if you can release this, it's going to be it's going to help. And forgiveness. You guys, this is so beautiful. This is about, literally, the advice is forgive. I'm going to challenge you all this week, and I'll do it too, to spend, you know, in the morning, spend a few minutes saying forgiveness affirmations for your counterpart, or practicing Ho'oponopono. Maybe have a photo of them that you look at and you actually like look and see, you know, feel their energy, and then literally say the Ho'oponopono, which is, I'm sorry, what is it? I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And you just keep saying that. I would say do that 10 times in the morning, 10 times at night, because it'll release forgiveness. It'll release any negative ties between the counterparts, and that's what needs to happen. And it's really important right now. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So this is the True Love Reading Oracle by True Love Reading Cards by Belinda Grace. And so let's look at the connective energy. Okay, so dating, creativity, and life purpose. So people may be thinking about dating. People may be thinking about getting out in the dating world again, connecting with other people. So that could be an energy. It could be really opening yourself up to a new connection. There's also creativity. People are tapping into their creativity. People are looking into how to bring different ways of expressing themselves to pass. Then we also have life purpose. This connection, if you are utilizing this twin flame journey the way that it's meant to be utilized, it will get you on your life purpose. That's no doubt, I'm 110% sure that this is about mission. This is about getting people connected to their mission. So that's what's happening right now. What's in your counterpart's headspace? Compatibility, connection, and the Rainbow Reviver. I've never pulled that card, so I'm going to have to open the book. So compatibility. You know what this is saying to me literally is that they're sitting here like recognizing the compatibility that the two of you had, that they're like, you know, we really were a good match. Like when we were on point, we were on point. And they're really thinking about that. They're thinking about how it felt to be with somebody that they felt that level of compatibility. Now they're thinking about this connection. They want this connection. They want to come back toward this connection, plain and simple. That's just what they're thinking about. And then we have the Rainbow Reviver. This is saying like, it says when you're single, the rainbow can help you feel more positive and lovable. If you're in a relationship and the challenges of life have worn you down a little, the rainbow will brighten up your day. So this is literally somebody who's they're just feeling kind of depleted, and they're thinking about this. They need to feel revived. They need to feel connected again. They need to feel that aliveness, that peace, positivity, and happiness. So it's in their heart space. I love this. Wow. The Sacred Woman, this is the white buffalo calf woman in Native American mythology. This is the energy of somebody who is recognizing that the counterpart in the situation is recognizing that this is a sacred connection, and that sacredness cannot be trifled with. You know, that's at the end of the day. Sacred, it's white buffalo calf woman, like, killed two people who weren't, I think it was two people, who didn't treat her as sacred. And so in their heart space, they're really recognizing that this is a sacred connection, and they cannot just be like treating it like any sort of way. So that may even be why if they've been disconnected for a while, that may be why, because they realize like, you can't just treat people like, and you can't treat a divine being any sort of way and not have like some spiritual consequences as a result. And in their heart space, they're thinking about commitment. They want a deeper commitment. They want something more meaningful in their lives. They're also thinking about spiritual maturity. They're thinking about, you know, that they need to grow up, that they need to start this journey. You may be already on this journey 10 steps down the road, and they're like, okay, I need to grow up here. I need to mature spiritually. There's some things that are not quite right in my way of seeing the world, my way of spiritually operating, that I need to just, I need to address. Move this aside. So we're going to get some messages from their higher self to you. Messages from the higher self, please. I feel like there's one more that wants to come through. Woo! All right. Sucker just jumped right out. So the first message, manifesting miracles. Your dream is soon to become reality. Trust your heart and continue to follow its guidance. Next message, embrace. Through each other, you find the missing pieces. Next message, power. Wow, this is so in alignment with the strength. You instinctively know what is right for you, and you have the power to say no or walk away at any time. And finally, look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. So that's your reading for today. I hope for this week. I hope it resonates. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk with you all soon. Take care. Bye.